Welcome to the October episode of Let's Talk Tech. We will feature the last of our series of interviews with our residents, talking with Joe and Liam, who actually offer and live here in the village, and they do on-site tech help services in our community. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Debbie. How are you?
I'm good.
It's really good to be back.
I know, but you've been really busy.
I have. I have a new talk show. It's called How We Met. I get to interview couples in Laguna Woods, and they tell their story about how they met. And it's on Mondays at noon and Saturdays at 5:30. You got to watch it.
I know. I saw one of the episodes, and it's really good, and I'm looking forward to it. What a fun and nice thing. Everybody needs something positive right now, so that's really great.
And the stories have been so sweet. Anyway, let's get to business.
Oh, no problem.
This month's question is how to get help in technology for technology needs when you want it. Now, you have mentioned taking classes, but what else can you do can the residents do here to get help for their technology needs?
Well, and that's a great question, and one that comes up often, and when I'm out and about, and probably when you are too, getting help. So we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to give some answers, and then later in the show, the gentlemen that I'm interviewing actually live here and do this. So it'll be great. I'll be happy to answer your question.
Okay.
First, if you want to learn and be able to help yourself, there are multiple opportunities here in the village. The PC Club, the Mac Club, the Video Club, and even the Camera Club all offer regular classes in a variety of topics. They are listed in the Globe and flyers around the community or on their websites. The PC Club is offering a lot of options each month, with some classes in Korean and even classes on using tech tools from Laguna Woods Village. They have a monthly general meeting in the evening with speakers on tech topics, usually held the second Tuesday of each month. The subjects are always interesting and very informative. AARP provides free resources and workshops focused on helping seniors with technology. Senior Planet is a phenomenal resource with classes on technology, exercise, and much more. You can attend their classes via Zoom and in some locales in person. Hopefully, they'll offer live classes here in the area very soon. We have several neighborhood volunteer groups that offer free tech assistance to seniors. The PC Club and the Mac Club both have workshops here in the community center on the 3rd floor that are open to our residents. These are drop-in, and volunteers will try and help you with your tech questions. Local senior centers such as the Florence Sylvester Center offer technology classes, and workshops is just another example. Public libraries often provide tech assistance, workshop, and access to computers. We have a brand new option right here in our community with the new library right there on El Toro and Moulton. Saddleback Emeritus offers free classes in technology, and other universities and colleges also offer both free and fee-based classes. UCLA offers free online courses for seniors as another example. Tech support hotlines. Many technology companies provide toll-free hotlines for customer support. Seniors can call these lines for assistance with their devices or software. When you buy a device, be sure to keep the number for help that is usually on the box or in a printed manual. Some manufacturers are moving to an online presence only and register the device so that you can have it saved for the future. Online tutorials. Website like Khan Academy offer free tutorials on a wide range of tech topics, including math, in case you need that like I do. Don't forget about YouTube. There are thousands of tutorials on about everything you can think of. Manufacturers' websites. Most tech companies have online resources, frequently asked questions, and user guides that seniors can access for troubleshooting. Online tech support forums. Websites like Reddit, Stack Exchange, and specialized forums often have active communities where users can ask questions and get immediate answers. Mobile apps and online platforms. Apps like Get Set Up and platforms like Senior Planet offer online courses and tutorials tailored to seniors. Local tech meetups. Look for local tech meetups or groups that host events where seniors can learn from others in their community. It's called Meetup, right online. Family and friends. Ask younger family members or your friends for help. They might be more familiar with technology and can provide personalized guidance for you. Professional tech support services. If the issue is complex or urgent, consider reaching out to professional tech support services. Many companies offer remote assistance, but also live. There are several vetted tech support providers here in Laguna Woods Village who will come to your home and help you set up a smart TV, computer, printer, your internet, and more. I will give a list at the end of this episode of names. Be sure to get references from anyone you hire before you let them in your home. Smartphone support centers, Apple stores, and other smartphone manufacturer stores and phone company stores often offer support staff who can assist with device-related issues, and you can just go into the counter and they'll help you. At Apple, it's called the Genius Bar. Tech helplines for seniors. Organizations like SeniorNet offer tech helplines dedicated to helping seniors with their tech-related questions. Social media groups. Seniors can join social media groups or communities focused on technology help for seniors. Online learning platforms. Websites like Coursera and Udemy offer online courses on various tech topics, and some are designed for beginners. While this is a substantial list, there are even more options than I've covered. For older adults, it's important to acknowledge that you might need the help and ask for it. There's no shame in doing this. We all need tech help on occasion, even me. So what do you think of all that? That's a lot of information, right?
Oh, it certainly is. Thank you so much. I can't wait to use it.
Well, yes, please take classes if you need them and call and do all those things because help is readily available. You just have to ask.
Thank you.
All right, I'm looking forward to that show. So next up, let's speak to Joe and Liam on their technology experiences. Well, we're here with Joe, and we have a bonus guest, Liam, his son, and they are residents of Laguna Woods, and they're here today to chat with us about their technology experience. So thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you, ma'am.
We're going to start with Joe, and tell me about your experience with technology, Joe.
Okay. I spent my first several years with AT&T doing telecommunication technology, and everything from being climbing the poles to actually going out and selling equipment. I left them and then went to a computer consulting firm, which was my final resting place before coming to Laguna Woods Village. This is all back east, and I was there for about 20 years,
Okay.
Doing sales and marketing for them. Not hands-on technical, but because I did sales and marketing, I always followed up with the jobs and all. So I did have to help sometime in setting up equipment, but I was rudimentary. But then I came out here and I was retired. I was going to play golf 3 days a week and go fishing 2 days a week, and I was going to have a ball. Well, I didn't like golfing as much as I thought I did, and fishing you can't do every day. So I decided I got bored, and my wife said, "You're always helping neighbors around here. Why don't you just set the business up?" So I did, and then within about 6 months, it just took off. And I started up Gate One Technology 20 years ago. Joe Barrett, great knowledge technology, and in 20 years it just took off. And then all of a sudden I'm working full time, 7 days a week, 5 days, Saturday and Sunday, helping printing next week and all that stuff. So anyhow, I thought, wait a minute, this is crazy. I'm supposed to be retired. I'm supposed to be enjoying life, traveling and all.
And that's
so
how
then Then I turned it over to Liam. I said, Liam, somebody's got to help me, and he came in then.
The funny thing is, though, he's still helping people nearly 24 hours a day. He just doesn't get paid for it anymore.
Right,
That's just
right.
his nature. So.
Well, I'm curious about one thing, though. So in 20 years, you've seen a lot of changes in technology.
I have.
And from where you might have started helping residents 20 years ago to where you're helping them now today. And that's good, because I wanted to ask Liam, before we went on air, Liam talked about his experiences. And one of the things I wanted to talk about in the show was, people who have a fear of tech or low technology skill level. And since you're out in the field helping people, what is your experience?
Let me start off. One of my strong suits in technology is I'm actually afraid of technology too. In the industry that I used to work in, I could press a button and bring down somebody's email system, right? So planning and being cautious and careful was really part of my job description, actually, right? So what I found is that there's nothing about a computer, particularly a home computer, that's all that difficult. The problem is there's a lot of steps involved. None of the steps are very complicated, but if you don't know those processes, you can kind of get lost in the weeds really quickly. And that's printing phones, home computers, smart TVs, all of that, right? It's all very doable for most folks. It's just that where do you start? How do you start? Yesterday, I had to hang a TV for someone, and I struggled because it's not something I normally do, right? So what I would tell people is just relax. There's not a lot you can do that can really harm a system, right? And if you just take your time and be methodical, if you want to talk to someone like me or the other guys that do this work in the village, I think you'll find if they're willing to work with you, find out what it is you want from a machine, what it is you want from your network, the answers kind of reveal themselves. And I really think that's been my experience anyway.
Yeah, I think the fear of breaking something is a big one to people, and in all reality, now compared to back when you first started, it is very difficult. It's not impossible to break down something, but again, to have that. One of the things I've recently become aware of is technology concierge services. Have you heard much about this? Have you heard anything about it?
Well, explain to me the term as you understand.
Well, this particular person that I met, they actually contract with a person to provide at all levels. They provide like a phone tech support level or all the way up to visiting you once a month to make sure everything's working. And I found that a little bit interesting, but at the same token, I also felt like seniors who are on fixed incomes, that might be a little bit out of their price range, so I'm sort of in between on it. I'm still learning a lot about it myself, but I feel like there is value to it, but I also feel that, we do have a lot of services. Not only when somebody needs hands-on, you will go out and for a fee, which rightly so, is you'll take care of that. But we also have a lot of free things in the village, such as the PC Club classes and things like that. So that's good.
Sure.
So are you more hardware oriented than like if someone was struggling with apps, let's say?
To be honest with you, my primary focus, and this is my kind of tagline, even back when I was networking, I always like people more than machines, and I mean that sincerely. So my real emphasis is on the person, and it's not a sales point. My emphasis is on what is it that you need? What is it you're trying to solve? Let me understand what it is that you're trying to do, right? And then I work based on that. Right?
Okay.
So if I find something that comes up that they don't understand, that I can see is impeding them, maybe I'll address that. But mostly what I'm trying to do is if they're calling me, they've got a problem, and I'm just going to try to work with them to help them understand what it is that's going to be the best solution for them.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, so whether they're using, like they need their printer hooked up or they don't know how to access something.
We do right in my company right now. We do whole home networking, so it's all smart TVs, phones, computers, printing, and even a little bit beyond that. Now we're kind of branching out a little bit of personal services too. We found that some folks need a little bit of help, just kind of keeping on top of things so they can live confidently, independently, and we're kind of moving in that area a little bit as well.
Which is good, and I know that I've done a couple of episodes actually on personal devices at home to assist, such as using Alexa or even your watch for falls. In fact, the other day I was changing my watch band, and all of a sudden 911's asking me what's my emergency. I'm like, no, I don't have an emergency. Or one time, just I talk with my hands and I hit my arm on a wall, and they thought you had a hard fall. So that's where we're headed, and also the things that I've talked about is online medical visits and different monitoring devices. So it's great that you mentioned that you're getting into a little more of those things, and because that's going to come up more and more and more. And as we need it here in the village, we are talking about, and I've been talking about this on the last several episodes, is, you know, our change from a hybrid coax system of delivery, television delivery, towards straight fiber delivery, which, you know, is a little complicated. So I've been trying to bring that to most people to understand what that really means
Sure.
to them. But, you know, in 3 to 5 years, we're going to be straight off. You know, we're going to go on that delivery system because there's no other option. You know, the cable market's dying is basically what's happening. And I'm sure both of you, being in the business, you're very aware of that situation.
Well, I'll say one of the biggest challenges I think that many of my clients have is moving or pivoting from traditional cable to streaming media. I get a lot of calls about, you know, what's possible. What can they do with their smart TV? It's a smartphone. Just like a computer, a smart TV is an operating system, and it has its own logic, its own functionality, its own features. And so one of the things that I have been focusing on, and one of the main calls I get is, you know, how can I set up my TV so that I can watch Netflix and I can watch Prime and things like that. So it is something that we're kind of focusing on.
Well, that's good, because that's really gonna be something you're gonna need to do, because I think people are so used to having a remote and putting channel 7 on, and you know, and with apps, it's tile based. You know, they're picture based. Now, when we made the switch at my house, my husband, you know, it took a few days for him to get used to what he needed to do to watch the things that he wanted, but we cut the DirecTV cord and the cable cord more or less, and went straight to, we actually are using YouTube TV, which is pretty good. I'm not unhappy with it. We certainly are saving a ton of money over what we had before, but you know, but people, you know, they say, well, I don't know what streaming is, but do you watch Netflix? Yes? Well, then you're streaming.
My mom and dad, actually, they've got a new hobby together, right? It's from Major League Baseball TV. We're talking about apps and streaming media. This is something people may not be aware of.
We're old Pittsburgh Pirates fans from way back when.
So you got an app?
And so I got an app called MLB Channel, and I can pick up all their games, except whenever they're playing
Here.
LA or advice here or there.
Because they have a geo
But there's a way of working around that too. But what I wanted to add to what he was saying earlier is that over those years, I built up a lot of clientele. I had a list of over 700 people on eventually, and everybody said, "Oh, you're so good, so good." But now that he's doing, I'm not trying to get a sales pitch in here, but he does twice as much as I do and twice as fast operating, because he was trained as a technician through the Microsoft verification course and all this stuff, which I didn't have that. I just Google was my teacher then.
Yes, Google, and you know, YouTube's a good teacher too.
You know, well, honestly, we watch 95% of what I watch is through YouTube. You know, but the problem is one of the problems with streaming is that the choices involved, and we're talking about seniors, and some of this technology is new to them, and streaming would be maybe the primary one after the smartphone, right? So one of the things I've been trying to get people to focus on is, if you're not used to it at all, hone in on something that you're going to get the most use out of. Netflix is a good place to start, because everything on Netflix is free. You can create your Netflix account. You have to pay the monthly subscription.
You pay your monthly.
But once you're logged in, unlike Prime, you can bounce from rentals to commercials to free content. And free content can mean anything from Oscar-winning movies to some guy in his basement making his own documentaries, right? And YouTube, which I'm a huge fan of. It's like I said, it's what we do. I've got historians I watch. I have, I can't even describe to you the amount of information we pull out of YouTube. But again, you have to be able to know how to curate a YouTube playlist and develop where you're going to go. Otherwise, you know, it's everything again, from cat videos to crazy people ranting and raving about
whatever,
who knows what.
So
it can be overwhelming. And that's one tip I'd probably say, is if you're really new to it and you just want to watch movies and you just want to, Netflix is really a pretty good place to start.
Right. And another thing is over the last few months, I've been talking, every episode we've been talking about different free television. Like, all these smart TVs come with mostly all of them, especially the last few years, free television.
Correct.
Tons and tons, more than you could
And
possibly
the choices
watch in a
themselves become a problem at a certain point.
because you get overwhelmed with what. So one of the things I always tell people, and you may do this too, is if you're going to consider going to streaming from whatever you're doing now, is to keep a list of what you watch most frequently, and that's where you start. You know, to get.
Very
So
much
what
so.
what are your top 10? Well, I watch this, this, and this. Well, then you might want this app to watch those things. And then if you're big on HDTV and cooking, you might want this or you might want that. And, you know, going to your point about YouTube, I always say that my husband has a degree in YouTube cooking because he watches all these cooking things on YouTube. And he's like, oh, honey, look, I'm going to make this. And most of the time they're good, although he's had a few cookie recipes lately for low sugar cookies. If you're going to eat a cookie, just eat the cookie.
May I say something about YouTube real quick?
Sure.
One of the things that I found is incredible value and can save money too, as a matter of fact. And I think that's one of the things my dad wanted to talk about was how we can kind of use technology to save money here and there.
Excellent.
Right? But with YouTube, you can subscribe to YouTube Premium. For an individual person, it's like, I think $11 or $14 a month inflation. Or you can get a family membership, which you can share with up to 6 people. Right? And that's like $19 or $29. I can't remember, but it's certainly under 30. And at that point, you can watch movies commercial free, all YouTube content commercial free, and that's something that YouTube is moving more toward, which is movies, YouTube Music can replace Apple Music, things like that. So if you're paying for an Apple Music subscription and a YouTube subscription, you can probably do away with one of those two.
Right. And I just want to clarify for any viewer, YouTube Premium and YouTube TV are two different things. So just keep that in mind. But YouTube Premium just runs off of when you would go on YouTube and click and let's say you're going to watch a cat video, because I like cat videos.
You just avoid having to do the skip ad thing all the time.
Yes, that's true. You do avoid that. So, well, gosh, we could probably make a whole show, but I've got my light on. So, all right. Well, thank you both for coming. As always, it's my pleasure to host this show and provide you with technology information. As we navigate the future, I'll be here to answer your questions and do my best to help make this information as understandable as possible. I encourage you to send your questions or comments to talktech949@gmail.com and let me know what's on your mind. Remember, you can watch us on Village Television Channel 6 twice a week and anytime on YouTube at the Village Television channel. It's easy to subscribe so you don't miss out any of the programming that's offered here, not just my show, but shows like the ones from the Foundation of Laguna Woods, or Cheryl's new show, and of course This Day to keep you in the know. Remember, knowledge is power. Think twice before you click on any link, and be kind when posting online. Have a wonderful month, and thank you for watching.